Good morning, crafty friends. This is my Christmas in July shenanigans. I have been making a wicked mess in my craft room, but the good news is I've got more done on my album. So I think last time I showed you the inside, and I've been working a little bit on the outside. So all I did was I cut a piece of chipboard and just tried to raise it up so that it would be closer to the height of the ribbon. So that's what that was. I covered the spine with some burlap, and then I did the same with the chipboard and the paper on the back. And off camera, of course, these you've already seen. Off camera, I did some more sewing. So I tried to figure out ways to incorporate some of my many ribbons and trims in this project because I have a lot. I tend to thrift a lot of my ribbons and things, so my stash is getting quite big. And some of these, of course, were just ordered and dollar store crochet lace. This was gifted to me by somebody in one of my craft groups that I'm part of. I think this one's probably my favorite. The black lace is so pretty. And this is just an offcut of the fabric that I used to sew the signature, plastic parts of the signature together. And that's it. I didn't put trim on every single page because I didn't want it to get ridiculous. And these are going to take up a fair bit of space. So that's where we are. My plan is to do something on the spine here. I don't know what, but I'd like to have a spot to dangle a charm. And I have some other little book plates on order that will hopefully match this little fastener. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. Today I may just set up the template and figure out how I want to put the signatures in. And that may be all I do today. So we'll see how we go. But I will put you on fast forward while I get that done. I'll walk you through this part of the process. So I just cut a piece of paper 2 inches wide, which is basically the width of my spine. I probably should have gone further up, but that's okay. It'll make room for the little fastener thing. So basically what I'm going to do here is just fold it in half this way. Do my very best to fold it in half this way. And I'm just going to fold it one more time, and then probably somewhere in this range. So now when I open it up, I'll know where the center is. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways you could go about doing this. You could just bind them in, the signatures in, I mean, just using plain thread. But I'm starting to think maybe I want to do something with eyelets just to make sure it's super sturdy. And then that way it'll kind of do a little bit of decorating on this side of the album, and I'll feel less pressure to put paper or something there. I may look and see if I've got a paper actually. I'll be right back. I don't think I mentioned this, but I'm basically just using the leftover pieces from my kit from last year. I think I was calling this like my vintage Christmas kit, and it's got just a whole bunch of random stuff in here. Some of it's old, some new. That could be kind of pretty on the back. Okay, that's an option. I love this paper and I'm hoarding it, but it's going to get used this project. Do I want this one on the side? Ooh, okay. See, this is what happens. Yeah, so the paper that's in here is just all the leftover snippets and bits. That could be pretty too. Oh, see, friends? This is the problem. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of full sheets of paper left. It's just kind of a lot of odds and ends and offcuts. So I decided I want to really use this up this year. I'm going to try. And of course, making the pages from, making the signatures from the kit is really helping. So these are my 3 options. Get rid of this. And this. All right. So, I really like that option. I may hold off though and use this somehow on the cover. It's kind of a waste. No, changed my mind. Definitely not. Do I want to go with this one? I think we'll go with this one. I may regret that choice, but all right. So I will cut this piece down, and my measurements for my spine are 2 inches by 9 inches. So I'll probably just cut it down a smidge smaller. So I hit a snag, but I'm going to work with it. I was hoping to use matching eyelets that go with this and these little corners. I don't have any, so I'm going to have to go with a matte black, which I think will look fine, but it's not what I wanted. I was really wanting to lean into the whole vintage thing, but all right. So the plan is to punch the holes using my template, and then I don't know if I want to put this through both layers and have the little prongs visible on the inside, or if I want to put it through here and then glue it down so you can't see it. Well, I'm not sure. But for right now, I am going to use this. So the way I tend to do this is I'm going to set my Crop-A-Dial to the 3/16 setting, and then just kind of go through and punch the holes first. Oh, it's already not straight. Sorry for the squeaking. All right, we'll go with that. I could remake my template, but I don't really want to get too fussy. It's a handmade album, so if it's not perfect, that's okay. I'm sure not many people are going to notice it, but me. So we're going to punch a hole here. Punch another one here. And another one there. And then that'll go all the way through to the other side. This is not a necessary step. You could simply do the sewing and call it done, but I'm being a little extra with this album because I can. Time is allowing me to do that. Okay, so those are done. And this I'll be able to cover up once I've got the eyelets in. So again, I'm not overly worried. I guess putting this burlap ribbon was kind of a waste of time. Although it does lend strength to the spine, so there's that. All right, so that one's done. Let's do the others. And I will put you on fast forward. I wanted to come on and let you know all of the sped up parts of this video are 8 times fast. Sorry about that. Okay, so I don't think I told you, but basically these are half an inch apart, roughly. So it's kind of the size that I go to. And when I was punching the other holes, I just kind of adjusted up or down. I didn't follow my template exactly. All right, now it's time to figure out what we're doing here. I mean, what I could do is glue most of it down. No, because then I wouldn't be able to punch that hole. All right, I'm going to need to come up with a plan. Back to the template. One of the problems is these prongs are huge, and I'm kind of worried they're going to interfere. And no matter how I turn it, they're still going to be in the way. All right, well, I guess. I'm going to have to guesstimate it. And then if I have to, I can cut off the ends. So it'll be right around the midpoint. Right there. And I don't think I want it to go all the way through. Oh, that may actually work out really well. we're doing it. I'm going to go up even a little bit from there. Having these parts of the video sped up to 8 times was the only way I could still have the video on my phone, so my apologies, friends. I'll try to do better next time. Okay, that's kind of what we're looking like. And I'm going to have to trim just a smidge off the bottom. And by a smidge, I mean like maybe 1/8 of an inch. Really not much. Okay. We'll do some inking. The mess around my desk right now is epic. I'm actually hoping to go to IKEA today and get some shelves for my wall so I can get some of my kind of display decorative items off of my work surfaces. And maybe once I have the room redone, I'll give you a tour. So my scrap room is, it's the guest bedroom in our house. It's the smallest of the rooms. We don't have any kids, so we had all these extra spaces that we didn't end up filling with tiny humans. So we decided to repurpose them for our own uses. So this room became my craft room, and the other bedroom was a guest bedroom. And then nobody really came over and stayed with us. All of our family is local, so everybody, you know, comes, visits, and goes home. So basically, we converted the other room into, we like to call it the second living room. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some intense glue so I can glue this on top. I'll be right back. So I just grabbed this craft fabric glue, but I don't know that it's going to do what I need it to. I might just use clear glue. Ooh, and make a mess right out of the gate. So it's funny, I haven't really used any other glue except liquid glue on this project. I think I used a very little bit of glue stick when I was covering the original cardboard. When I was just covering it in this like dictionary kind of paper. All right, give that a minute. Not bad, not bad. I might have to reinforce up here because the dimension of this little brad thing on the other side is causing a little bit of trouble. If I have to, of course, I can take it off and punch right through. I just wanted to try to avoid it if I could. Give the album more of a finished look, but being awfully fussy. I'm not too worried about the bottom because, of course, the eyelets are going to help. Yeah, this is not behaving well. Let's try something a little bit more. And try this the fabric glue, see if it helps. Never hurts to have a couple of different glues in your arsenal. Oh yeah, that's way better. So this was just Michael's. This, of course, is just kids' school glue. And then I've got this Barely Art Precision Craft glue that I use a lot. But I think the glue in these bottles is getting a little bit old because you see me fight with it every single time I use it. So I may have to order some more. Oh yeah, that really did the trick. Okay, so let's set some eyelets. All right, I'm back. So this is what the spine is looking like. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm glad I went with black eyelets. I was going to go with gold and switch this to gold, but I like how old looking this little brad thingy is. So I guess now I can try the corners, or maybe I'll wait. I'll wait. Okay, so here comes the struggle. So this is the part of the project that I dread because it is not time consuming, but it's very, very fussy. So basically what you need to do is put your pages in order. Try to line them up. I may have to get some clips for this part. And then basically you use your template and a pokey tool, which I have my Cricut pokey tool. And you basically kind of squish everything together. And then you poke your holes. I don't know if you can see me on camera here, but yeah, basically you use your guide and you just poke through the middle hole all the way through. And then you repeat with the top. Oh my goodness. Trying not to poke my fingers. I've already done that several times. And the bottom. There. So I'm going to leave that in. Move some things out of the way. And then I will bind this one in the first row of holes. And I already see an issue. How did that happen? So my holes line up, but my page is way too low. Oh dear. Well, that's useless. Gonna have to make a new template, I guess. I will be right back. All right, I think I've got it sorted. So basically, this is just black embroidery floss. It's nothing fancy. So I went through the bottom all the way up to the top and in, and now I'm here. So now I'm going to go down to the bottom. Through the signatures. And then out this bottom hole. I think the issue was the plastic was kind of slipping around and making it hard for me to line everything up. So I'm hoping I'll still be able to adjust it once everything's in there tight. All right, I'm just going to pull up on this thread, get everything nice and tight. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go through that in one shot. Binding books is always the most fussy part of this process, but once you've got your technique down, it really doesn't change. So even when you hit a bit of a snag, as I'm doing here again, the struggle is real. I'm just gonna have to go page by page. Yeah, even once you've got your technique, the rest, it just kind of, you know, you can kind of troubleshoot it and work through the problems that you come across. And if that means, you know, sewing, oh, I lost my spot. If that means sewing through 1 or 2 pages at a time, that's fine. This is another kind of good reason to, if you're doing December daily, it's another good reason to kind of start early, because these kinds of projects always end up taking longer than you think they should. All right, so I'm just tightening all of this up, making sure I've got my string on both sides. I'm pulling it tight. It's a little lower than I'd like, but that's okay. All right, and now we'll just tie a double knot and a bow. And trim off the extra. All right, I will not make you watch me keep doing that. Yeah, you can see the pages are closer to the bottom. They're not fully centered, but it'll still work just fine. And maybe I can put some tabs and stuff at the top. So that is 1 signature down, 2 more to go. So I will do this part definitely off camera, because I may still have to fuss with my template a little bit just to get it all in the right spot. So I will be back when all 3 signatures are inked and bound in. Boy, that was a struggle, but it's done. It's not as tight as I would like, but those page protectors were a real challenge. So everything is bound in, inked, kind of. Looks like I missed a couple. But these are like the little details that I can tackle as I go through. Yeah, the page protectors were, wow, very slippery. I also left a couple of spots in here. I don't know if I'm going to put anything, if I'm just going to cover it with washi. We'll see. But basically, we're done. And it sits mostly flat. So you can see here at the top, there's kind of a gap. But I think I'll just kind of cover that with some like page protectors and some little elements that stick up tall out of the album. And the spine is pretty solid. That fabric fusion glue really did the trick. So I may put the corners on today and call it done. We'll see. I've never put these corners on, so I'm kind of nervous. I'm afraid I'm going to goof it up because these are very sharp, the corners of my album, I mean. And these are, I mean, do I just go for it? I'm afraid, friends. I am afraid. I've never put these on. I may have to Google search it first. Yeah, let's hold off. We'll do that later. I already struggled enough with everything else in this album, so I want to go a little easy on myself. And I'm thinking, do I want to put something in here maybe? I kind of like the look of that there, actually. I don't have another album or another envelope like that, though. That's the only problem. Is this too big? Yeah, that's way too big. All right, well, what else have I got that I could use? Got some offcuts. Could I? Let's hold on to that because that could be very handy. Ooh. All right. Okay, I think I'm going to figure out a plan, and I may or may not be back today because the binding was a lot. So stay tuned. All right, I'm back. I decided to take a break from the other parts of the album and tackle something kind of fun. So I opted to work on the cover. And I'm kind of feeling like maybe that's something I can do. And just a couple of offcuts. Yes, I think that's what we're going to go with. So I'm going to need my hot glue gun for a couple of things. So I'll go grab it and I'll be right back. All right, I wanted something for this side. So I just grabbed one of my offcuts. right. I think that's enough inking. Time to start sticking some things down. This video definitely should have been 2 videos instead of 1, so I will try to break it up a little bit more evenly next time. But in the meantime, I'm glad that you came to hang out with me for probably one of the longest videos I've ever posted on my channel. And yeah, stay tuned for more December daily album things in the next few days. And in case you're wondering what I'm doing here, this is just me putting some cardboard on the back so that when I stick this part down, everything is going to adhere evenly, because that ribbon is going to be in the way otherwise, and it would make it all crooked. I want everything to be able to slide on my bookshelf without getting hung up on anything. So I guess I didn't really need my hot glue gun after all. Is there anything else I can kind of tuck in? All right, I think I'm going to stop there and reassess in a day or so and just figure out what I want to do next. But for now, I'm pretty happy. All right. As always, thanks for coming to hang out with me, and I will see you next video. Bye for now.